friends, Victoria Beckham Beauty has arrived, and I wanted to kick off this video by opening the box with you. Look at this. I can't wait. Hi, Vicky. We are committed to proven performance with a luxury experience from first sight to last swipe. I love that. Pure excellence in every way. That's the Victoria standard. Enjoy. Oh, thanks, Victoria. They really packed it in here. Ooh, my goodness. I love the beige boxes. It's very minimalist, you know, a clean look. Matte bronzing brick is finally here. I ordered number 3, Sand Soul. Feels heavy, my goodness. Oh my, 12-month expiration shelf life. For a powder, I was expecting, I mean, come on, Victoria, give me 24 months. Oh, what a stunning compact. I kind of knew, but seeing it in person and feeling it, the heaviness of it is insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, let me see here. I can't even read. Made in USA of US and imported ingredients. We have a mechanical clasp. Oh, a little bit of a nudging, I think, because of this thing. Sometimes I feel this kind of makes the powder worse because look at all the nicks that happened during transit. But I gotta feel this powder. I gotta feel the silkiness. Oh my, that's nice. Well, let me do one and then on the other side. So this is first, second, and then the together. Not great lighting for the overhead shots, family. My apologies. I'll have another round of swatches when I'm in front of my main camera. But my gosh, that feels beautifully silky. Ooh, okay. I'm going to put you down. You stay right there. Judging from the color already, I'm happy that I bought 3. I could work with that shade. We have the highlighter stick in Pearl. I'm looking forward to this component because it looked incredibly luxurious online. That's pretty. I am a sucker for the bevel textures is what it's called. Ooh, we have VB here embossed on the top of the stick. That's pretty nice. Definitely pearl, more on the pearl end of the spectrum, but it has a nice slip to it too. So looking forward to comparing that. Ooh, I like the VB cream on the cap. I'll compare it to my other highlighter sticks on standby for sure. What do we have here? Oh, this must be the mini sample I requested to be included. I think, what did I, oh no, my bad. I can't even read. It's the sharpener. It's the sharpener, Alicia. Calm down. Making up stuff as we go along. Sharpener, a bunch of sharpeners because guess what? I ordered a bunch of those gosh darn liners and happy to have received a canvas bag because I'm a little bit of a hoarder when it comes to these canvas bags, family. I will find a role for them despite the fact that I might not need it. Please just give me a little bit of time. I'll find some for this canvas bag to do 100%. Thank you so much for holding my beautiful pencils in transit. Yeah, I ordered quite a bit, family. I went overboard. I made sure to order the shades that many of you had said are just to die for. And if you're wondering, this is the Satin Kajal liner. I have it in bronze. I'm only opening one because I just want to see it in person. I want to feel the texture. The pencil itself, the construction is just beautiful on first sight. I don't know what it is aesthetically because it's just black, but it does something to me, to my soul. One side is the pencil, the other is the sponge tip applicator. Oh no, never mind. I thought this would be the pencil side. But here we have bronze. Oh, that's smooth. Oh my heavens. Wow, that is absolutely gorgeous. And look at that blend. Oh, I could already tell smoother than the Prada. The Prada has a little more grit, especially the satin formula ones. And here's the sponge tip applicator to kind of shade out as you like. I cannot wait to put those in action. And the other shades I bought are cinnamon. We have Surfside. Ooh, I gotta see Surfside now. Actually, you gotta see Surfside now. I wanted denim. Denim, you know, that cloudy blue, I think is so beautiful. But Seaside, let's see. Oh my gosh. Stop it right now. That is absolutely stunning. And the, geez, they're soft. I can see why it could be a problem because they're so soft, but I don't mind because that makes for just seamless blending. You see how easily that diffuses? Ooh, with the bronze? Check that out. Yes. Sign me up. Okay, the other ones I have are Cocoa. We have Smoky Quartz. Can't wait to try Smoky Quartz. I think that's one of the, like, the metal ones. Ooh, those are the lip liners. I have another lip liner. I think that's it for the liners. So let's put those on standby. And can't wait to now see the swatches for the liners. The lip definer. Now, the feedback for the lip definer was hit or miss in my comments under my Shot With Me video, but I wanted to give them a shot anyway. I have here, which number is this? Oh, this is 24 months suggested shelf life. Thank goodness. Which one did I just open? Is this number? Okay, this is number 4. I want to take a look at the shade here. Oh, that's pretty. That's like a rose. Ooh, I like that. And the texture is not too creamy, definitely not as creamy as the pencils. There's a little bit of dryness to it, which I like in a lip definer, lip type of a pencil. And we have number 5. Why don't we just quickly swatch number 5 while we're here, since I only have 2 of these guys. I forgot what the shade descriptions were for these. This is more of like a tawny. So pretty much an entirely different color and undertone altogether. What do we have here? Ooh, we got the Cheeky Posh in Miniskirt. This is, I think, I forgot what it was described to be as, a terracotta or something. Ooh, but look at the component. It takes on a similar design as the bronzer compact, which we love. And as expected, and of course, we have the VB embossing. I'm already loving the color. Oh, that's not too tight. Oh, I love that. It's actually more red in person than it appears on screen, and pretty smooth. I can see why it might present a problem if you apply this directly on foundation skin, or foundationed skin, I should say. It could move your makeup. But if you apply this on bare skin, it shouldn't be a problem because there's obviously nothing to move underneath. Eye wardrobe, okay, and here is the multi-finish palette compact. So if you want any of the eyeshadows from Victoria Beckham Beauty, you will have to order the compact separately. But once you do, that's a wrap. You can just order the refills thereafter. Oh, this is tiny. Why did I think this was going to be huge? But one of you had said the eyeshadow palette is the size of a credit card, and that's exactly what those dimensions are. Here's the inside. Cool. I'm going to put you on standby. And now I ordered, what's here? Victoria, like the neutral palette. I didn't check at the time of purchase if the new eye wardrobe was available. I should have. It's like a burgundy color story, and you know what I feel about those. Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Okay, so as you see, once you order the compact separately, you could just order the eye wardrobe thereafter, as many as you like. And the eye wardrobe insert feels quite heavy. And let me just take a sweep of the neutral matte. That's nice. Okay, that's definitely going to be my contour shade through the crease, for sure. And oh, it's magnetic. Wow. Wow. This is heavy. This is gorgeous. I am thrilled with the packaging. I know I haven't tried the products yet, but already the packaging has me seduced. We have the Posh lipstick in Pose. This is, I remember from the description, a mauve type of a gig. Let's check out the component. Here we go. Oh yes, heavy still, mimics the cheek blush stick, and it has a lower base and a taller cap. Ooh, we got the embossing. Let's see here. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Interesting. I think number 4 could pair well with Posh. I'm also looking forward to trying Posh with Isamaea's Liberica lip liner. We shall see. I have Suku's Moisture Glaze number 6 on standby because I'm sure you're dying to see how that compares, because that's also like a mauve type of a shade. And lastly, I ordered 2 of the crystal infused eyeshadow pots, which I actually already own. It was gifted to me a few years ago. I have it in bronze, I believe, and I was quite impressed by the texture and decided to buy Mink and Tea Rose. I'll just open one. And again, since I already own one of these eye pots, I'm familiar already with the design. Absolutely adore. Here we go. What do we have inside? Love the insert. Oh, yes. Yes. Sign me up. Don't knock over the camera, Alicia. My goodness. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Stop it right now. That is beautiful. Can't wait to get that on the lids, and we're gonna clean up and get the main camera out and start slapping on these products. I'll see you back here in a bit. Face is prepped, and surprisingly, don't know why, I thought a fitting pair would be the Surfside tint, officially called the the Dewdrop foundation in shade 7. For some reason, I thought this would be an appropriate base to wear with my new Victoria Beckham beauty products. And of course, you already saw the unboxing. And why don't I go in order of how I opened these products based off memory? Good luck. Have to go in first with this gorgeous bronzing brick. Again, we're looking at 03, called the color Sand, and it's two-tone, it's matte, incredibly silky, and as promised, I'll redo swatches now close up. First, I'll do the individual shades, starting with the lighter and the darker, and those are the individual undertones present in 03. And if we swirl those two together, we'll get this shade, which is a great combination of both. I think the combination shade resembles the first shade a little more. I enjoy the fact that shade 1 is giving a little more neutral. Shade number 2, you can see the presence of a little bit of red there, right? So that's a great cocktail. And now, what brush should we use? Going in with Sonia G Voyage by Teshu Sora brush. Should I swipe or tap? The powder is quite soft. I feel going in sweeping motion will probably pick up too much product. So I'll just tap along both. And man, that's some good pickup. So we're going to, oh my goodness. I kind of knew. I knew it would just be a joy, an absolute delight to apply this bronzer. I mean, I basically just tapped it on and it fuses with my complexion. It looks like silk. It feels like silk because the way it melts into the skin and how it does not appear like a powder whatsoever. It is absolutely wonderful. And let's brush along the forehead here. I know the hair is out today, family, so I'll make sure to sweep it back in order for you to see the color and just the effect it has on my complexion. It's definitely on the warmer side out of all the bronzers that I own, and I actually have a few on standby. Just based off the photos, I predicted that the undertone would resemble what's present in the Dolce & Gabbana bronzer, right? Because I classified the Dolce & Gabbana as to be more of like a yellow mustard leaning undertone, and this is a single pan as opposed to the dual pan found in VBB, but you can kind of detect a similarity there. And funny, this looks more neutral compared to 03 from the Victoria Beckham brick. And I also have YSL's All Hours Hyper Bronze number 4 in the sandalwood shade. I believe the sandalwood shade is a little more red leaning, and to compare that, for sure, definitely kind of resembles the darker shade on the brick, right? So even still, this is a unique tone, I feel, for me. Again, it appears more kind of like almost yellowish. I don't know why. Maybe I could try in another demo or when I continue to use this all week, okay, because she's going in the makeup bag. Maybe I'll try to just apply one side at a time to make that distinction, but I'll probably just end up tapping on both. Maybe if I tap on the lighter side and see what that delivers. So I like the fact that I could build a gradient in that way. I can start off with the slightly more tan shade onto the hollows and then follow up with the lighter. That's pretty. Happy I went with 3, just because 4, based off the photos, might have been a little too reddish, like red toasty for me, which isn't an issue. I could totally get away with that undertone, but I have to be more careful with it. I like the fact that I can apply this bronzer texture, this powder texture with a larger brush and be more liberal with the application so that I can achieve that hazy, blown out bronze effect. Ooh, that's pretty. I have to throw on the cheek stick, or my apologies, that is not the right name. The Cheeky Posh blush stick in Miniskirt, and allow me to pull up the actual shade description for this color. Oh, interesting. I'm on the product page now, and Playground, which I originally had in my basket as well, but I said, slow your roll, girlfriend. Miniskirt is described to be a berry rose, and when I swatched it in the unboxing, I thought it looked quite red in undertone. But I think that is accurate. Berry Rose is dead on, right? And again, I mentioned it's kind of tight on the stick. So what I would do is warm it up on the back of my hand first. And you can probably detect how creamy it is. I wouldn't apply this directly on my cheeks. I would see how a finger tap would appear. I would still prep the product first. And again, I have a tint on, so I don't think I'll run the risk of lifting it off my cheeks, although that could happen, but because this is not a liquid texture, I think we'll be okay. Oh, that's lovely. Oh my goodness. This is too much. It's too much, family. Can't take it. I'm thrilled. Looking at the shade offerings here, I'll probably go in for Playground. I think Playground would be just a lovely, easygoing shade. But for the other side, let's test with a brush application. This is my Mizuho. I forgot the number. I'll make sure I'll have most of my brushes linked. Ooh, it's giving toasty. It's definitely giving that sunburn effect, which I don't mind whatsoever. And I like both application techniques. The finger tap is cool. Although, to ensure an even application, I would, again, take from back of hand first, warm up the product, and then for the brush application, you can see it lays on a lot more product, right? So that's the route you would go if you wanted a higher serving of color payoff. But I'm just going to fix a little bit here, probably went a touch bit too low with that blush application. I'm taking my Surratt Dewdrop foundation and tapping along the edges here to kind of fade it out. Ooh, my goodness. Do I have a cheek product? The only one I'm thinking of is from Phytosurgence, specifically in Ignite. Ignite might be toastier, definitely, but the vibe is similar. There's probably another one in my collection that resembles Miniskirt, and probably in their most recent blush release that I also have my eye on, but I'm holding back because it's getting a little too much. Playground, though, now is calling for me, just based off how I enjoy this texture. And as you can see, I would classify this as a natural finish. Given that the dewdrop is natural in finish as well, I think combined with the Cheeky Posh, is that what it's called? I forgot already. Yes, the Cheeky Posh, more leaning natural, almost teetering on radiant, especially if you apply like more of a dewy consistency foundation or tint. But I enjoy that finish because it naturally is going to imbue that highlight effect here around the low cheek area, and then it climbs up higher on the cheekbone, which will lead us to now investigate this highlighter stick. Love the packaging. I mean, this is gold. I have to say the Lisa Rouge Experience lipstick component feels a lot more luxe. This is definitely shinier, whereas the Lisa lipstick holder is more of a burnished finish. But I do like the beveled texture on the case and tube. I ordered Pearl, which again is more of like that pearl finish, that champagne beige. It, I think, delivers an even ratio of pearl and shine. Actually, it's more glossy than I thought. It definitely, or rather, I had the implications from online photos that it will be more pearl. And to quickly compare what I'm talking about, what I consider to be more pearl-y in finish exists in the Surratt, specifically the Torche Lumiere. That's more of like an exclusively pearl finish. Also, the Addiction Tokyo Glow Stick. Eclat is the name of this stick. But you see how it doesn't have the same glassy finish? Actually, the Surratt has more of a glossy finish than the Addiction Tokyo Glow Stick. Addiction Tokyo is pretty dry. And lastly, my Byredo highlighter stick, which I would say closely resembles the VB highlighter stick. Let me quickly swatch VB next to Byredo. Dare I say, VB has a little more of a glassy finish. And leans more of like a beigey champagne versus a gold champagne, as what's found in the Byredo shade. And like I had done with my Cheeky Posh blush stick, I'm taking my finger directly from stick and then tapping right on the cheekbone. Dare I say, this consistency reminds me of Isamea's cream highlighter formula found in her skin enhancing duos. I would say that's a little more zhuzhy. That probably is more dewy in finish, but that's pretty. I'm actually quite surprised by how glassy and dewy this is. I did not pick up this texture on the photos. I don't think the photos can capture this finish. It's actually quite tough to, no matter what product it is, from what brand. Ooh, that's shiny. I like that a lot, actually. In fact, this will probably be a great setup texture for like a drier one, as what's found in the Addiction Tokyo stick, even in my Suku highlighter stick, which, my apologies, I failed to compare swatch. I have a few of them. This one in particular, the let me see here, the Glow highlighter stick in 102. This is like the kind of pinky champagne-y gig, right? You can see that's a lot drier, and if I wanted, I could just apply that on top of the Victoria Beckham and we'll have a much better outcome, because the Victoria Beckham has a little more stick for sure. There's a little more stick, and I have my hair out, but I don't have, obviously, the hair type that will be flowy joey like and straight. So you might run the risk on a windy day, if you wear this Victoria Beckham highlighter stick, it could end up your hair stuck on your cheekbone, just saying. But I think it dried down reasonably well. Just got to give it time to settle, right? It doesn't feel super sticky on the dry down, I feel. But that's shiny. My heavens. Have to get into the lipstick now, because I've been dying to test out this shade. This is the Posh lipstick. I settled on the color Pose. I think I said Posh in my unboxing, my apologies. A mid-tone mauve, yes. It says here it pairs well with lip definer in 2. Unfortunately, don't have 2. I have 4 and 5, but I need to slap on this lipstick and compare it to Suku's Moisture Glaze in 06. So here we have Pose. And again, as you saw in the close-up, it had a fresh embossing of the VB on the top of the bullet. This is an interesting texture. It actually reminds me a little bit of Lisa's Rouge Experience, where it's almost like a satin balm. It doesn't have crazy shine, but it has like a nice silkiness to it. There is a bit of a taste. It's not overly perfumey like a few of the luxury lipsticks that I own. And the color I know is clashing a little bit with what's going on center of face. In fact, allow me to just dab on a little bit of my Givenchy powder, because I think the radiant finish on my cheeks is appearing a little uneven on camera. And just to, there, that's better. I just need to dial down the glow a little bit so that it doesn't appear strange. That's better. Okay. And if you want to check out, yes, I went into more detail describing how I felt about this Givenchy pressed powder. Spoiler alert, I love it. I do love this color though. Oh, that's pretty. Listen, like I said, mauve me to death. I get down with the mauves, and just briefly scrolling through the other shades for the Posh lipstick, it's hard for me to figure out which other shade I would purchase next if I choose to. I had my eye on Fringe. Fringe was the deep copper brown, right? That could have been a nice pair with a shade that would pair well with what I have ongoing with the cheeks, but it's all good. Why don't I start the swatch comparisons again with Pose from the VBB lipstick, quickly followed by Suku's Moisture Glaze in number 6. The Moisture Glaze has a lot more shine, and you see that 06 has actually more of like a brown undertone to the overall shade. And stand by, because I should have had, hold on, 11 from the Miyabi collection. Again, another Suku Moisture Glaze. This kind of resembles what Pose is, but with more shine and maybe a little more pink versus mauve. And lastly, I thought, why not? Let's swatch Medici from Lisa's lipstick, described to be a cool berry. And definitely you can detect more berry than mauve. This is more cool in undertone than Medici. But if you have the milk brown shade, number 11, from the, I think it was 2024, the Suku Miyabi Autumn collection, that's the closest shade match from what I have. But now I kind of want to try the lip liner. Ooh, okay. Or lip definer, excuse me. Number 4 is a rosy brown for medium lip tones. So that's the squiggle again. And I wanted to quickly just try this by itself. Oh, that's a lovely shade. I like that a lot. I definitely can detect the rosy brown hue, and even by itself, if I choose to wear it solo, I could just blend the edges like I am here. Well, I'm happy I bought number 4. And the consistency is quite nice. It's creamy with a little bit of dryness. I appreciate that, as I feel it will prevent feathering from a lipstick that's susceptible to that. And again, compare it with a number of different nudie type shades I have in my collection. And to quickly now see number 5, and allow me to grab that shade description, caramel for tan to deep lip tones. So you see that's more of like a, as the description outline, more of like a caramel brown. And it also says it's waterproof, non-feathering. Yeah, so I kind of recognize that just based off the texture alone. And the same thing I did with number 4, I'm also now repeating with 5. Oh, that's lovely. Ooh, I gotta compare this to Lisa's 2N. 2N as well as 1N. So here's compared next to number 5. And actually, you know, they're actually similar. Maybe there's a little more of a caramel hue to Victoria's number 5 lip definer. Drat, I don't know where my Lisa Eldridge 1N is. But I do have 2W, and I wanted to swatch that next to Victoria's 4. And that's definitely leaning more brown rose for sure. 2W from Lisa is more of like a rose, yes, but lighter. It's just a lighter shade overall. And for kicks, I had to bring in Isamaya's lip liner in Liberica, which is just a medium taupe. So far departure from the undertone lineup we have here. And I thought it would be actually quite interesting to wear this with the Gucci Glowing Care in Lynette Stone. Yes, 113, I believe the number is. Excuse me. Wow. This is a great pair. Is giving 90s cool girl. Stop it right now. Okay, we got to get into the liners. I have some B-roll footage to share because I just wanted to quickly show you how all the colors work. And of course, I reserved the bronze liner for the main demonstration. I believe the first one I slapped on was cinnamon. And you have 3 categories within the Satin Kajal liner collection. Let me quickly pull those up, which were hailed to be one of, or if not the best product from Victoria Beckham Beauty. You have the matte, the shimmer, and the jewel. And cinnamon is one of the shimmer shades, and you can see how incredibly smooth it is. And I recognize the critique from some where they were like, is actually too soft. Yes, because when the pencil is as soft as what's found in the Satin Kajal liners, it might be harder to control the placement. I get that completely. To combat that, I would consider powdering your lids or going in with a primer that has a little more like, grit's not the right word, just a little more traction so that you can practice more control along the lash line. Cinnamon, as you saw, is a pretty effortless shade, and one that, although I demonstrated as like a cat wing in the footage, I would just slap on across my lid as I did, and I also applied it on my waterline and used the sponge tip applicator to smoke it out. And I found that it was quite easy to achieve that hazy effect on around my eyes, and a shade that I could just use solo. If I wanted that liner smoky look but didn't want to actually use eyeshadow, I could definitely use cinnamon for that. Next we have Cocoa, which is a dark brown and resembles Pat McGrath's black coffee, but smoother than black coffee. Not necessarily a better trait to have, because the reason why I adore black coffee is because it is drier and I can control the placement more because of that texture. But for the Satin Kajal, incredibly smooth for the waterline. You saw how it just glided right along there, and also can be beautifully smoky on the top lash line, bottom lash line. A nice departure from just simple black liner if you wanted that definition and intensity but didn't necessarily want to use black. I think Cocoa is a fantastic shade and was dying to see the jewel in action. I purchased Smoky Quartz, and Smoky Quartz, yes, still very soft, softer than the Prada liners which recently released. And I have to say, I like how smooth they are, and I love the effect of the jewel finish from the liners. But because they're so soft, you have to be careful with how you blend them out if you choose to, because it's almost like you blend the pencil away, and I have to choose an appropriate brush and bristle type to ensure that doesn't happen, because the sponge tip, I think, is too hard and it picks up too much product when I want to blend out any of the finishes, the matte, shimmer, or the jewel. But I like the Smoky Quartz color 100%. I think it's gorgeous. The one that I was pleased with has to be Surfside. This is from the mattes, and wow, what a beautiful like teal blue. Let me see how VBB describes it here. It is described to be a Rich matte teal. As I mentioned in the unboxing, I had my eye on denim because I love like a grayish blue, but Surfside is pretty, and something I would, as you saw in the demo, would just apply on top and bottom lash line and that be the entire look. Maybe I'll apply some lipstick, and again, we're going a little bit of an 80s inspiration there with the blue liner, but because of the teal, it makes it more modern, I feel. And that leads us to now see bronze in action from the shimmer finishes, and of course had to pair it with the eyeshadow palette. I can't believe just how beautiful this compact is, how small it is. And I ordered Victoria. This is the more neutral leaning shade or offering from the Eye Wardrobe collection. And I am aware that there is a new, well, it's not on the website. It didn't release somewhere else. Do we have shade descriptions for Victoria? We don't, but that's fine. We'll figure it out as we run through these swatches. Wanted to quickly read about this compact. Eye Wardrobe is housed in a refillable compact made with brass, glass, aluminum, iron, stainless steel, and a glass mirror. No wonder this thing is heavy as it is. My heavens. And also because it's magnetic will add to the weight. Woof. We got to start with the neutral. I think this is going to be like the first lay down shade, and as I had already swatched in my unboxing, that's going to be the perfect contouring shade for my crease. I'll finish with the mattes first. This appears to be like a rusty dark brown. Oh, that's pretty. That almost looks like an eggplant on camera, but I know that's not the case. A little warmer than an eggplant. And next we have what appears to be like a charcoal brown, or could even be a black brown for that definition and smoke. I could even just use that for smoke if I wanted. And we have arrived to the sparkly arcly shade, okay? Ooh, that's like metal, my heavens. What do we have here? Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Is there like different color pearl? What is in that shade? That is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what to do because I have the eye lusters on standby. Should I? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll have another try on. I'll just come back on her. That's not a problem. I wanted to quickly swatch the eye lusters first before we begin this demo. I know this video is so long already, but you know where you are. It was bound to happen. Tea Rose, a warm rose gold with violet pearl infused with rose quartz. My oh my. And again, packaging details resembling its other compact and tube counterparts, if you will. Here is the lid luster up close. Beautiful texture. Look at that shine. It's incredible. I'm running out of arm room here. Ooh, that is just marvelous. I like the more compressed type of a format, if you will, with these eye pots. I like the it escapes me, Kulfi. I like the Kulfi eye pots too. Those are more like a moussey type of a texture, more wet. Could be a little trickier to apply. I think these are easier because of the drier consistency. And the last one I purchased is Mink. Let me try to find Mink here. A taupe brown with a mix of gold and silver pearl infused with tiger's eye. And I gotta hand it to the Victoria Beckham Beauty brand for these marvelous, not only product photos, but product demonstrations. It just truly just demonstrates the caliber of the products, the effects, what you could experience if you purchase it. It definitely makes me feel more connected as a potential buyer. I feel more confident in my purchase when I have these photos and videos at my disposal in, you know, exploring the brand. So kudos to them. Ooh, that's pretty. That actually resembles the eyeshadow a little bit. Where are we gonna put this? I'll put it here. Oh, stop it right now. That is shiny. That look how much left. My fingertips look like metal. It's like I dipped them in liquid metal. Stop it right now. I don't know, man. I have to test out these eye lusters. I know. I'm a mess. We're going to figure it out. Allow me to choose an appropriate brush. And you know what I'm probably thinking. We got to do the Chikuhodo Bobo Nebula. I'm not entirely sure. I forgot. My apologies. This might be Weasel, but it's not too stiff, but not too flexible either. I thought this would be an ideal bristle for the lid luster texture. Look at that. Ding, ding, ding. I don't have anything on my lid. We're going straight on. And also why I didn't pick up any of her brushes. Not saying they aren't good, but listen, if you already have, like myself, a bunch of fude where I was trying to research the origins of these brushes, and apparently they are made in Japan, but I'm not entirely sure. You know, it's hard to try other brushes that when you already have experience, like a Bobo brush or a Sonia G brush, Chikuhodo, Koido, like any of those is like, it just seems that everything else pales in comparison. No shade, but that's kind of how I feel. Speaking of shade, the fact that the backdrop shade for Mink has its own haze. This is what I adore about these lid lusters is, yes, they're one and done, but what I look for also is not the twinkle effect that I know was clearly present based off the swatch, but also how the texture appears when you blend it out. Not only with the brush, but if I just were to completely simplify this technique, if I didn't have a brush at all and I had to rely on my fingers, that I feel is ultimate one and done. Stop it right now. This is gorgeous. This is, we're done. We're going out, we're finished, goodbye. I don't know what to do. I kind of want to see T-Rose in action, but I want to see the eye wardrobe. Okay. This is what we're gonna do. I would like to, I'll go in with the eye wardrobe and T-Rose will happen on a different time. I promise. Because I'm dying to see what these mattes are doing. And I was questioning why this one pan was so large, and I mean, I intuitively knew this, but I asked anyway, is simply because this is the base shade, so the one you would use the most, and probably why it makes sense that it is the larger pan size. Granted that most would start off any of their looks with this shade, be it the base shade or the one and done. Perhaps they'll just slap this on across the crease. Also, they could bring it across the lid if they wished. And then they could follow up with one of the pencils, which is what I would like to do now, because I wanted to reserve bronze for the main demo. I will now start to bring that along the lash line. And the bronze satin Kajal liner, the shimmer finish, it almost looks burnished. Is quite beautiful, leaning more towards like a gold bronze finish. I don't know if you can see that on camera. This will pair beautifully with Natasha's golden or her original gold palette. And I don't want to use the sponge tip. I think it's too hard. I want to go in with Bobo's, I believe this is Tea Squirrel and Weasel, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not. I'm sorry, I should remember, but sometimes I forget. Just to smoke it out a bit, and yes, I much prefer using a brush to adjust the blend of the satin Kajal liners, right? So we could stop there, slap on some lashes or even some mascara, but we have to see what these other mattes are doing. And I would like to go in with this almost plum brow, and the shades are quite soft. The powders are quite soft. You can see the kickback left behind when I tapped my brush in. Resembles what happens when I tap my brush in the bronzing brick. So it appears that the powders run similarly from a bronzer formula to eyeshadow formula. And that's pretty easy. I'm just tapping along. I'm not over manipulating, and I'm going over the liner as well. Okay, so we have some obstacles, but It does not interrupt the blend whatsoever. It's just kind of sitting there underneath. Excuse me. That's pretty. That's a nice matte powder. I am quite happy with this texture. It's soft, but it doesn't blend away to nothing. You see that it adheres to the skin well. It creates a beautiful soft gradient, and you can still detect that brown undertone in the color, right? Depending on, I guess, if you choose to apply this solo or on top of like that taupey brown shade. Wow. Gotta go in with this charcoal black, and with the same brush, as I'm trying to tread carefully here, I am starting on the outer part of my lash line and then carefully whipping up that shadow so that it can create a darker, more intense coloring here on the outer lash line. That's pretty. My goodness. And now we gotta try on this eyeshadow, man. Now, just based off the texture, I think the shadow will naturally feel drier than the lid luster, and maybe, well, we'll see. I'm gonna use the same brush. I'm speculating that it might not be as easy to pick up, but no, that's some pretty good pickup, I think. And plopping that on the lid, oh no, we're fine. We're absolutely fine. Now, the thing is, with this eye wardrobe, there's not a designated highlight shade. So if you like to wear shimmery champagne, gold, or whatever color you like to place on the inner corner, it does not exist in the eye wardrobe, or at least in the Victoria colorway. You will have to dip out for sure. And probably I could go in with the highlighter stick, but I think that would be a little too glossy Aussie for my inner corner. So, what can I use for my inner corner? I'm gonna just quickly hop into my Givenchy. Just because it's here. Oh gosh, things are falling. I'm gonna just pick up this light-ish apricot shade, you know, to add a little bit of inner corner highlight so that the inner part of my eye doesn't appear shadowy, right? So there's some distinction there. And you see how the two shades are similar, except Mink, there's more brown present, whereas the shade in Victoria leans a little more charcoal. Let me do this. They might appear the same just by looking at them, but you could probably detect the slight difference in undertone. Ooh, and we probably should apply some lashes, right? Yes! I know you probably wanted to see Tea Rose in action, but I'm gonna save that maybe for like get ready with me. Listen, this isn't the last time I'm going to use these products, okay? They were not cheap. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to slap on some lashes and just clean up the complexion. I'll be right back. Victoria Beckham Beauty first dive in complete. What a joy this was. And I am happy to have finally tried Victoria Beckham Beauty. This is still a first impressions, although I had my assumptions and expectations based off my Shop With Me video and pulling from all of your recommendations and feedback for the brand products for all your favorites and not so favorites as well. I can honestly say the products are solid across the board, and perhaps I just had high expectations for these textures. For instance, the bronzing brick. I don't know if it's because I read something online last year or whenever it was, but I just remember someone describing the bronzing brick one of the best bronzing formulas that they have ever tried, and that stuck with me. And I knew immediately when I applied this powder texture is incredibly silky feel, how it just floats on the skin, whether you swipe, you go and swirl and twirl, or you tap. It's phenomenal. And I love the color. The color is right up my alley, and I like to peruse the different bronzing undertones, as I have several in my collection. But to have this more caramel yellow leaning undertone, I think is quite nice. The Cheeky Posh blushing stick, I like. I was skeptical because I thought perhaps it would have been like a drier texture. It is a creamier, tighter texture straight from stick to skin, and which is why I would recommend, if you do have this product, if you have problems with it, probably you need to prep it first, like I would with a lot of cream liquid products in my collection for that matter. And I think that will deliver the more even finish on the cheeks, more even, not splotchy, not spotty, right? Definitely has more of a radiant finish to it, to which I would recommend, if you wanted to pull that down a little bit, just lightly tap with your favorite loose or pressed setting powder. Happy with the highlighter stick. There were some hit or misses from the comments regarding the highlighter stick. I'm happy I bought it because I do like that it's more glossy in finish. I like an even ratio of gloss and pearl like what exists in the Byredo stick. But gotta say, it's nice to have that glossy Aussie because, my goodness, it does leave behind that beautiful wet effect on my cheekbones. And now, yes, we're in spring, but as summer approaches, I think that'll just be a beautiful finish to have for highlighter. The lipstick I like a lot. Now, although I don't have it on for the final look, I think overall the look called for more of like the caramel beigey browns. I think Pose is a beautiful shade, and I could think of several different eyeshadow types. I have a bunch of mauves in my collection that I think Pose will look lovely with. In regards to the texture, it definitely reminds me of Lisa's Rouge Experience, where it's not like a super satiny lipstick. It's, as it's described on the product description page, it's more like a lipstick balm hybrid, and I could acknowledge that 100%. And not super shiny like the Glow and Care, but enough shine, I think, to leave the impression that it is a lipstick of more of a satin finish. Again, still a hybrid. I like how it applied too, and I like the size of the bullet. I think the size of the bullet, you know, it just makes for easy maneuvering around the lips without a mirror. The Kajal liners, I can see why they are maybe considered the hero product from the brand. They are incredibly soft, and I recognize how that could be frustrating to some, where if you're not particularly good at applying liner, maybe that will work in your favor, right? Because since they are so soft, it makes the pencil fairly easy to blend before it sets. Great for application along the waterline, as there won't be any pulling or tugging. And I do enjoy the 5, I think, that I bought. I do enjoy all those shades, and I can't wait to try them with my brushes and just kind of explore their capacity to appear as wing liner, as hazy chunky liners, as more like hazy lash line effects. So I'll get into that for the rest of the month for sure. The eyeshadows, exceptional. I don't know how else to describe it. I mean, the mattes are impeccable in terms of how, yes, they're soft. There is kickback when you bring brush to pan, but I don't mind it. If that ensures the blend that you see here, that was virtually effortless to achieve. I mean, that's an easy trade-off to make. And I do enjoy the fact that I bought the Victoria colorway. I had my eye on the khaki one, and the new one supposedly, I don't know if it's out, if it's floating in the ether somewhere, but I definitely will have my eye on it if it's a burgundy-like color story. And the lid lusters are just beautiful. My goodness. And compared to the metallic, or I don't know how VBB classifies this texture here in the eye wardrobe, this has a lot of sparkle, but the lid luster definitely possesses more pearl. So you're definitely going to get more of like that sparkly, arcly effect from the lid luster product. And thrilled that I bought Mink. Mink, listen, this is, come on, one shadow, and look what it does. Look what it does, family. It's giving me smoke, sultriness, seductiveness, and I could only expect the same from Tea Rose. I'm sorry, I just showed Tea Rose. Let me show it again. Tea Rose is gonna give me a smoky rose, which I cannot wait to try. My goodness, I'm just thinking about what I could pair this with if I need to. It's not necessary. These are phenomenal solo, as you saw, as I demonstrated when I plopped this on the lid. And the lip definers, I think it's not so much the texture. that I was expecting to be blown away by, because I knew it was going to be a solid product. I haven't encountered a lip liner that sucked so badly that it was worth mentioning, right? All the lip liners that I've recently purchased have been great. Lisa Eldridge, Isamaya Beauty, and now Victoria Beckham Beauty. What I'm impressed by the most is probably the shade themselves. And again, I have on number 5, and I think this is a phenomenal color. It will go well with a lot of my favorite beige tone types that I have in my lip collection, and I can't wait to figure out what 4 would pair well with. I'm just kind of racking my brain quickly. I have probably some rose tones for sure. I'm thinking in my Suku Moisture Glaze, probably I could pair with the Givenchy. The Givenchy might be a little too red though. Well, maybe not. It's worth a shot. And that is it, family. Let me know what you think down below. And if you made it this far, perhaps think about clicking that thumbs up. It helps my channel tremendously, and letting the YouTube algorithm know that I'm worth watching and can continue to watch. Consider subscribing, because if you want to see T-Rose in action, well, you gotta hit the notification bell so you know if that long form video or that YouTube short drops. And if you want to see me demo my purchases from the recent Sephora sale, make sure you click that video. I'll see you down in the comments in this video and on here again next time.